All right, gearing up for a Machinery Assembly Supervisor interview. How exciting.
It is.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources to really help you prep. It's like having a cheat sheet, but way more insightful.
That's right. We're going beyond the typical interview advice. Think of us as like your interview strategist.
Well, I like that.
We're going to help you really understand what the hiring manager is looking for and how to really showcase your skills effectively.
Okay, so first let's set the stage.
Hmm.
From the career guide, it looks like a Machinery Assembly Supervisor is responsible for a lot more than just, well, assembling machinery.
Right.
They're leaders, problem solvers, and safety champions.
Absolutely. You'll be managing a team, ensuring production targets are met, and above all, maintaining a safe working environment. So that means your interview prep needs to go beyond just technical expertise and showcase those leadership and communication skills too.
So let's jump into the RoleCatcher interview questions, shall we? We'll cover how to approach each one and what kind of follow-up questions you might get. First up, what experience do you have with machinery assembly?
Okay.
Sounds simple enough, but how do we make our answer really stand out?
Don't just list your previous jobs. Think about specific projects or challenges that you tackled.
Okay.
Maybe you implemented a new assembly process that boosted efficiency, or solved a tricky technical problem. The key is to showcase your expertise and highlight what you learned from each experience.
So instead of just saying, I worked as an assembly technician for 5 years,
Right.
we're diving deeper into those aha moments.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to quantify your achievements. Did you reduce assembly time, improve product quality? Those numbers speak volumes.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's a potential follow-up question I bet comes up a lot. Can you give an example of a time you went above and beyond in a machinery assembly role?
This is a great opportunity to showcase your dedication and problem-solving skills.
Oh.
Think about a time when you faced an unexpected challenge or you took initiative to improve a process. Did you identify a potential safety hazard and take steps to correct it? Did you mentor a new team member?
Yeah.
Those examples demonstrate that you're not just task-oriented, but you're proactive and you're invested in your work.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure that machinery is assembled correctly and safely? I have a feeling this one's a biggie.
You're absolutely right. Safety is paramount in this role. So when answering, demonstrate a deep understanding of safety protocols and regulations. If you have any certifications, be sure to mention them.
So don't just say, I follow safety rules, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Give specific examples. Talk about how you've implemented safety checklists, conducted toolbox talks, or addressed potential hazards. Maybe you even developed a new safety training program for your team.
Oh, nice.
Show them you're a safety advocate.
That you are, yeah. And here's a potential follow-up that could really impress. Can you describe a time when you identified and mitigated a safety risk in a machinery assembly environment?
That's a great one. Have a specific scenario in mind, outlining the risk, the steps that you took, and the positive outcome. This showcases your proactive approach and commitment to safety.
All right, let's switch gears to leadership. The interviewer might ask, how do you motivate your team to meet production goals? This feels like a question where your personality really shines through.
It is. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here.
Right.
Authenticity is key. Think about what motivates you and how you translate that to your team. Do you set clear expectations and provide regular feedback? Do you foster a collaborative environment where everyone feels valued? Maybe you use friendly competition or incentives to boost morale.
I like the idea of really showing your unique leadership style. And I bet a common follow-up is, can you share an example of a time when you successfully motivated your team to achieve a challenging goal?
Yes, definitely have a story ready. That highlights your leadership approach and how you inspired your team to overcome obstacles and achieve success.
This is all great stuff. Now let's talk about RoleCatcher's AI tools. How can they help us tailor our answers for maximum impact?
That's where things get really interesting. Imagine having personalized feedback on your answers. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your responses, identify areas for improvement, and suggest stronger phrasing. It's like having an expert coach in your pocket.
So it's not just about practicing, it's about practicing smart
Exactly.
and making sure we're hitting the right notes.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just these common questions. RoleCatcher has a massive database of over 120,000 interview questions tailored to specific job roles.
Wow, it's a lot of questions.
It is.
But it sounds incredibly valuable. Okay, let's get back to the interview questions. We've got a tricky one coming up. Can you give an example of a time when you had to troubleshoot a machinery assembly problem? I feel like everyone dreads these tell me about a time questions.
I understand why. They can be daunting, but remember, the interviewer isn't trying to trip you up. They want to see how you approach problems, think critically, and find solutions.
Right.
Choose an example that demonstrates your analytical skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
So don't just focus on the problem itself, but also on the process you use to solve it.
Yes. Walk them through your thought process. What information did you gather? What resources did you use? Did you collaborate with others? And most importantly, what was the outcome? A clear and concise story will showcase your problem-solving abilities.
And a possible follow-up here could be, what did you learn from that experience and how have you applied those lessons to subsequent challenges?
Excellent point. Reflecting on your experience and showing how you've grown from it is a great way to impress the interviewer. It demonstrates a commitment to continuous learning and improvement. All right, let's tackle another question that assesses your ability to manage a team effectively. How do you ensure that your team is working efficiently and effectively?
This one feels like it's all about processes and systems. I bet they're looking for someone organized, and results-oriented.
You're right on the mark. Think about how you set clear goals, delegate tasks, and monitor progress. Do you use any project management tools or techniques?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And beyond just tools, I bet they also want to see how you interact with your team.
absolutely. Highlight your communication style. Do you hold regular team meetings? How do you provide feedback? Do you create a collaborative environment? The interviewer wants to see that you can foster a productive and positive team dynamic.
So paint a picture of a well-oiled machine, but with people at the heart of it. Now, a follow-up question they might ask is, can you describe a time when you had to address a performance issue with a team member?
Oh, those conversations are never easy.
They can be tough, but they're crucial for any leader. Have an example ready that demonstrates your ability to provide constructive feedback, address issues promptly, and support your team members' growth. Focus on the positive outcome and how you help the team member improve. Next up, a question that's bound to come up. How do you handle conflicts or disagreements within your team? I mean, conflicts are inevitable, right?
They certainly are, especially in a fast-paced environment like machinery assembly. The interviewer wants to assess your conflict resolution skills.
So what's the best way to approach this question?
Emphasize open communication and active listening. Describe your process for mediating disputes and finding solutions that work for everyone involved.
And maybe even mention that disagreements can sometimes lead to creative solutions if they're handled correctly, right?
Absolutely.
I bet a potential follow-up question is, can you share an example of a time you successfully resolved a conflict between team members?
That's a great example of a follow-up. Having a specific scenario ready helps illustrate your approach to conflict resolution, and it highlights your ability to maintain a harmonious team environment.
All right, we've talked a lot about safety already, but here comes another safety-related question. How do you ensure that your team is following safety regulations and procedures? I guess they really want to hammer that point home.
It makes sense. A machinery assembly supervisor is ultimately responsible for their team's safety.
So how do we answer this question without sounding repetitive?
Think about specific strategies you've implemented. Do you conduct regular safety audits? How do you communicate new regulations or changes in procedures? Do you use any incentives or rewards to reinforce safe behavior?
Maybe even mention if you have a system for tracking safety incidents and near misses.
Right.
That shows you're proactive and data-driven. And here's a potential follow-up that tests your leadership skills. What steps would you take if you observed a team member violating a safety protocol?
That's a great question to be prepared for. Your answer should demonstrate your commitment to safety and your ability to address issues directly and effectively.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The next question is, how do you ensure that machinery is assembled efficiently and on time? This one seems like a balancing act.
It is. You need to deliver high-quality work while meeting deadlines and managing resources effectively.
So it's all about organization, prioritization, and maybe a bit of time management magic.
Precisely. Describe how you break down large projects into manageable tasks, allocate resources effectively, and track progress.
Maybe even mention if you've implemented any lean manufacturing principles or process improvement techniques. That shows you're constantly looking for ways to optimize efficiency. Now, let's get to a question that's particularly relevant in today's diverse workforce. How do you manage a team with diverse skill sets and experience levels?
This is where your inclusive leadership skills come into play. The interviewer wants to see that you can create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected, regardless of their background or experience.
So how do we highlight our ability to lead a diverse team?
Talk about how you identify each team member's strengths. Delegate tasks accordingly, and provide opportunities for growth and development.
Maybe even mention mentoring programs or cross-training initiatives you've implemented.
Right?
Those demonstrate your commitment to fostering inclusivity and helping everyone reach their full potential. And a good follow-up question to anticipate is, how do you ensure clear communication and understanding when working with a team that has varying levels of technical expertise?
That's a great one. Be prepared to share specific communication strategies you use to bridge knowledge gaps and ensure everyone is on the same page.
Now let's touch on another crucial aspect of this role, keeping up with the ever-changing world of machinery assembly. The interviewer might ask, how do you stay up to date on industry trends and technological advancements in machinery assembly? It feels like technology is evolving at warp speed these days.
You're not wrong. Staying current is essential in this field. Share examples of how you stay informed. Do you attend industry conferences, read trade publications, or participate in online forums?
Maybe even mention if you've taken any online courses or pursued certifications related to new technologies. That shows you're proactive and committed to continuous learning. And here's a potential follow-up that tests your ability to apply that knowledge. What emerging trends or technologies do you think will have the biggest impact on machinery assembly in the next few years? And how are you preparing for those changes?
That's a question that requires some foresight and strategic thinking. Having some insights into industry trends and how you're adapting your skills will demonstrate your forward-thinking approach.
This has been a whirlwind of interview prep.
It has.
Let's pause here for a moment and talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help us refine our answers and really nail those interview questions.
That's a great idea. We've covered a lot of ground. But having the right tools can make all the difference.
So tell us more about how RoleCatcher's AI can help us stand out from the competition.
Imagine having personalized feedback on your answers, tailored to the specific job you're applying for. RoleCatcher's AI can do just that. It analyzes your responses, identifies areas for improvement, and suggests stronger phrasing.
It's like having an interview coach, but without the awkward silences.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just refining your answers. RoleCatcher's AI can also help you identify potential gaps in your skills or experience based on the job description.
So if the job posting mentions a specific software program or a technical skill that I'm not familiar with, RoleCatcher can point me in the right direction to learn more.
Exactly. They have a vast library of resources, from online courses to industry certifications, to help you upskill and make yourself an even stronger candidate.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a personalized career development plan at your fingertips.
And the best part is, it's all accessible with just a few clicks.
Okay, I'm feeling much more prepared to tackle those interview questions. But before we move on, let's take a moment to explore the career path of a machinery assembly supervisor. Where can this role lead me in the future?
That's an important question to consider. The Machinery Assembly Supervisor role can be a stepping stone to various leadership positions within manufacturing.
So it's not just about landing this job, but about thinking long-term.
Right.
And mapping out a fulfilling career path.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher's career guides can provide valuable insights into potential career progressions, required skills, and salary expectations.
It's like having a roadmap for your career journey.
Exactly.
Now let's dive back into those interview questions. We've got a few more to cover that will really test your leadership and problem-solving abilities.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground here, from safety protocols to leadership styles. We've explored the ins and outs of what it takes to be a successful machinery assembly supervisor. But let's shift gears for a moment and look at the bigger picture of this career path. What does the future hold for someone in this role?
That's a great question, and it's one that every ambitious candidate should be asking. The beauty of a role like this is that it can be a springboard to a variety of exciting opportunities.
So where could this role lead me, down the line? What are some potential career progressions?
Well, with experience and a proven track record, you could naturally progress to a senior assembly supervisor role, leading larger teams and tackling more complex projects.
Okay, that makes sense. And beyond that?
From there, you can move into management positions such as assembly manager or even production manager, overseeing entire departments or production lines.
Wow, that sounds pretty impressive. What kind of skills or experience would I need to make that leap?
Those roles often require a deeper understanding of production processes, quality control, and even budgeting and forecasting. Strong leadership and communication skills become even more crucial as you move up the ladder.
So it's not just about technical expertise, but also about developing those strategic and leadership skills. That's where RoleCatcher's career guides come in handy, right?
Absolutely. They provide valuable insights into the skills and qualifications needed for each step in your career journey. Think of them as your personal roadmap to success.
It's like having a GPS for your career. Okay, let's get back to interview prep. We talked a lot about specific questions, but are there any general tips for making a great impression?
Beyond the content of your answers, remember that enthusiasm and a positive attitude go a long way. Be confident, make eye contact, and show genuine interest in the role and the company.
So it's all about connecting with the interviewer on a human level,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Remember, they're not just looking for someone with the right skills, they're also looking for someone who would be a good fit for their team.
So showcase your personality and let your passion for machinery assembly shine through. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI tools one last time. We talked about how they can help with answer tailoring and skill gap identification. But are there any other ways they can support our job search?
Absolutely. One of the most valuable features is their AI-powered resume builder. It analyzes job descriptions and identifies the key skills and experiences that employers are looking for.
So it's not just about listing your skills, but about highlighting the ones that are most relevant to each specific role.
That's right. And their AI can help you do that in a way that's clear, concise, and compelling to hiring managers. It's like having a professional resume writer on your team, but without the hefty price tag.
That's amazing. And what about cover letters? Are there any AI-powered tools to help with those?
You bet, RoleCatcher's AI can actually generate customized cover letters that are tailored to the specific job you're applying for.
It's like having a personal assistant who knows exactly what to say to impress potential employers.
And the best part is, it saves you a ton of time and effort.
Wow, RoleCatcher's AI tools sound like game changers for anyone navigating the job search process.
They truly are. It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners who are prepping for a Machinery Assembly Supervisor interview?
First and foremost, preparation is key. Use the resources available like RoleCatcher's interview questions and career guides to understand the role and the expectations. Practice your answers and don't be afraid to showcase your unique skills and experiences.
And remember, it's not just about technical expertise. Highlight those leadership, communication, and problem-solving skills too.
Absolutely. And leverage the power of AI tools to refine your resume, tailor your answers, and identify potential skill gaps.
Great advice. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners as they embark on this exciting career journey?
Believe in yourself, showcase your passion, and never stop learning. The future of machinery assembly is full of possibilities, and with the right preparation and mindset, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you feel empowered and ready to tackle that interview with confidence.